Good afternoon, I hope you're all well, and I'm sorry I can't be with you, but looking forward to being with you again quite soon. I'm surrounded here by some things to do with harvest. Harvest of flowers, harvest of fruit, and harvest is about the way that we've got so many things, but what do we do with them? Harvest is when we particularly think about the things that have grown and have been harvested, but what do we do next? I'm going to read us a book called Eric Says Thanks. Eric woke up one awesome morning and sat at the table stretching, yawning, as he tucked into his toasty bread. "This brekkie's epic," Eric said. "My taste buds are buzzin', my belly is blessed, I'm loving this loaf, toast is the best." "But who do I thank for this scrumptious treat?" "My mum, of course." Eric sprang to his feet. He ran to the kitchen and called to his mum, "Thanks a gazillion, my brekkie was yum." His grateful smile was 10 miles wide. "Oh, Eric, that's sweet," his mum replied. "But all I did was toast the bread. You should be thanking the baker instead." So out of the door, with a hip and a hop, Eric popped out to the baker's shop. "Hey, Mr. Baker, I just came to say, thanks for the loaf you made yesterday. You made the bestest bread on the planet. I tried to thank Mum, but she just wouldn't have it. She told me that you're the one to be praised, so 3 cheers for you, hip hip hooray." "That's kind," the baker began, "but the fella who fetches the flour's your man. Without the flour, there'd be no bread. You really should be thanking him instead." "His name is Dan. He drives a big van." "I'm on it," said Eric, and off he ran. A short while later, Eric found Dan. He was taking a nap in the back of his van. He banged the window and shouted, "Dan, you're the world's most epic delivery man. I'm loving the loaves the baker deals, but he wouldn't do it without your wheels." "You're welcome, dude," said Dan with a grin, "but it's really the miller you should be thanking. She grinds the grain that makes the flour to bake the bread that you devour." Quick as a flash, Eric dashed up the hill to thank the lady who worked at the mill. He knew he'd find her by the grinder, and when he did, he sat beside her. "Thank you, Mrs. Miller," he chimed. Your flour is epic, one of a kind." "Oh, dearie, it's my pleasure, of course. But it's not me who deserves your applause. Without the wheat, there'd be no grinding. You should thank Farmer Pete, if you can find him." So Eric legged it down to the farm. He looked in the field, he checked in the barn. Finally, he found him working hard, fixing his tractor across the yard. "Sorry to bother you, Farmer Pete, but I wanted to thank you for growing this wheat. Without the wheat, the miller could never grind the greatest flour ever. Then Dan, the fantastic delivery man, would have nothing to drop off in his van. Mr. Baker would make no bread, so Mum would buy something else instead. And the ultimate tragedy would be there'd be no tasty toast for me." Farmer Pete put down his spanner and replied to Eric in the gentlest manner, "I'm grateful for your gratitude, plucky young fella, but I think there's something I need to tell you. Each day the sun rises way up high, giving light and heat from the sky. And see those clouds that are plump with rain? Soon they'll burst and water the grain. So hard as I work to harvest the crop, your journey of thanks has one last stop." Eric looked up and down at the grain. "But who do I thank for sunshine and rain?" The old farmer smiled and whispered, "Let's look at what God says in his good book." And pulling a Bible from his dungarees, he thumbed a few pages, then started to read. "Love the Lord, serve him heart and soul, for he sends the rain that makes grain grow." The little lad beamed as the farmer read it. "I get it," yelled Eric. "Let's give God the credit." So Eric paused and he closed his eyes. "God, thanks for my epic adventure today and all the people I met on the way. They all played their part in giving me toast. I'll thank them all, but I thank you the most. Amen." That's a great book, isn't it? Reminding us, actually, there are so many people we need to thank. the farmers, the delivery men, the millers, the people who stock our shops and run them. But above all, we need to thank God. Thanking God for everything he's given us. Our food, our families, our friends, our school teachers, everything there is. And that's what harvest is about. Remembering to thank God. And that's why we say little prayers along the way. We thank God for our food, for the bus. And our classes are each teaching us a little prayer. And it's great to learn those and perhaps use them in your everyday life. Well, I hope you have a great time for the rest of your harvest service. Bye-bye.